Hi there, I trust you're doing well. It's always good to be back and spend time with you. I'm Kwame Benny Smith, an HR expert, and I want to specially welcome you to the 8th episode of the Job Hunt Preparation Series. This channel will be your human resources community for knowledge, expertise, and resources. If you are new or yet to subscribe to this channel, I'll be sharing a lot of resources, informative tips, and techniques relating to HR. As such, remember to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss anything I share on this channel. Don't forget to check the description section of this video for links to job postings as well as other resources I'll be sharing in today's session. Now, last episode, we talked about how we can use references to land a job, as well as how we can take advantage of the opportunities available at a job fair. In today's episode, we will spend some time discussing how and when to negotiate a salary for a job. Most people, as part of their job hunting journey, ask themselves questions like, when will it be appropriate to negotiate salary for a job? Is it before, during, or after the job interview? And how do you handle the entire negotiation process to ensure that you are paid exactly what you deserve? Salary negotiation is an act that relies heavily on timing. If you bring it up too early, you may lose out to your competition. If you bring it up too late, you may not get a compensation package you are hoping to get. When it comes to the hiring process, money is one of the most sensitive chapters you will have to address. Discussing compensation packages can often cause stress for both the employee and the employer. But there are things you can do to help reduce the stress and help ensure you get the best possible salary and benefits package possible. In today's session, we are going to go over some of the basic salary negotiation tips so you can be paid what you are worth. So without wasting much time, let's move straight into it. In addressing the question of timing, that's when is the appropriate time to negotiate a salary for a job. Ideally, you should only enter into negotiations once you have had a formal job offer and the employer is convinced of your worth. Your power to negotiate is much greater when the employer has decided you are the best candidate for the position. However, be prepared to respond to the salary question in the initial interview stage by remaining as non-committal as possible and stating a wide range. Usually, the discussion of salary requirement and expectation is brought up near the end of the interview and is much easier and more straightforward for candidates in active employment or with a career salary history than for a recent graduate or candidates who have not previously had a permanent job. If you should be asked such questions in an interview, questions such as what is your salary expectations or what salary are you looking out for? And responding to such a question, ask if there has been an amount budgeted for this position or ask if there is a salary grade attached to the job and see if it fits into your requirements. When there is no indication of salary and the interviewer continues to probe, you'll have to respond with a number. If you don't, you may create the impression that it is unimportant what you get paid and any offer is acceptable. When responding to difficult interview questions about your salary requirement, rather than confining yourself to a specific figure, state a range. We'll be discussing how to determine your exact salary requirements later in this session. Now the question is, how do you get the best possible salary and benefits package? The first thing to do is to research. The greatest tool in any negotiation is information. Before the interview process begins, do your research so you can have a good idea of what the general compensation package for the position you are interviewing is. Usually, you can search for a ballpark figure by doing a little research online. You can also contact a professional organization that represents your career field and see if they can provide you with some general salary information. Or if possible, speak to employees of your prospective employer and see if they can provide you with the rough figure of the salaries for the role you are being interviewed for. This way, you can be armed with the facts before the topic of money is discussed. You should also keep in mind that approximately 30% of your gross monthly salary is deducted for taxes as well as insurance and retirement plan deductions. So make sure you factor that in the equation before agreeing on the final amount. Next is to determine your skills. As we discussed earlier, skills are an important part of the job hunting process, especially when it comes to being paid what you are worth. Once you have established what your skills are worth in the current job market, you have more control over the negotiation process. When it comes to you stating a salary range, avoid basing your desired salary on your current salary. It can be helpful to find a resource that helps you to calculate the potential value of your personal skills and background, such as education, length of experience, certifications, and management responsibility. To do this, there are a wide variety of tools and calculators available online. Just do a quick search for salary calculators. You should have no trouble finding one that will work in your situation. Find out your competitive market value and know exactly what your skills are worth in the current job market. You also have to weigh the compensation package To determine the fair market value for a specific job, you should consider the economic, geographic, and industry factors of the job offer, weigh the benefits of compensation and promotions, insurance, allowed time off, and retirement settlements of the offer to ensure a fair proposed salary. Also, you need to know your company value. What are you worth to this specific employer? Consider criteria such as the supply and demand ratio of your skills in this industry, as well as the number of suitable candidates the company has interviewed for this very position. This information provides you with an understanding of how much negotiation power you really have. It is important to distinguish between your market value and your company value. Focus on your value and not your needs. The next thing is to consider the job offer as a whole. Assess the financial value of the benefits offered as part of your gross income. Benefits can add up to 30% of the total compensation as mentioned earlier. Prioritize your interests and determine which of the benefits you are willing to negotiate. Start with negotiating your basic salary first, and then move on to the benefits, one element at a time. Just remember, you usually cannot try to negotiate the entire job offer. The key to salary negotiation tips is to choose the elements you want to negotiate carefully and make sure that you have solid research to back up your proposals. Finally, sell yourself. As I've mentioned many times before, it is important to sell yourself. If you know what you can bring to the company is worth more than what you are being offered, use that as a negotiation tactic to help get the best employment package possible. Remind the employer of your value to them and continue to express enthusiasm and commitment for the job and company. The entire salary negotiation process can be quite intimidating, and it calls for a strong stomach and a professional attitude. It's never an easy task, but when you prepare adequately and approach it armed with the facts, you are much closer to getting the salary you deserve. This brings us to the end of episode 8 of the Job Hunt Preparation series. In the next episode, we'll be looking at how to stay motivated if you can't find a job. Stay glued to this channel and ensure not to miss the next episode. As usual, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, then be sure to do so and click the bell button to be notified every time I release a new episode. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you give us a like, go ahead and drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.